Good afternoon. It is a Monday, September 20 or the 20th, 2021. We will continue this Monday with our mathematics class, Unit 8, Time.
Good afternoon. It is Monday afternoon, time for math class. It is Monday, September the 20th still, 2021. And today we'll have a math class. It's all about activity records, but we will come to that in a minute. I want to start with a little bit of vocabulary words. They are from the lesson, so let's do those first, and then we have a look at what we are going to learn today. Okay, the first three vocabulary words. Number one, R-E. Ooh, that looks a bit like a C. Let me make it a bit clearer. Okay. R-E-C-O-R-D. Record. Record. A record is when you write something down, right? Later in the lesson you will see an activity record. So if you write down, for example, what I do here, this is a record that I wrote down for myself. So when I make a class, when I do a class like this, I write down for myself my intro, the vocabulary words, and then this is called this is a record, right? So a record for me. So if you write something down, that is called a record. Later in the lesson you will see an activity record for different people, and then you'll understand it even better. Number two, A-R-R-I-V-E-D. Arrived. Arrived. This is a past tense word. Do you know the present tense for arrived? Right, just take away the D, arrive. So when you arrive somewhere, for example, I need to go to school, I leave my house, and when I'm at school, I arrived at school. So it means I arrived at school, that I'm at school. So the opposite of arrive is to leave, right? So I leave my house and arrive where I need to be. And number three, C-O-L-L-E-C-T-E-D, collected, collected. This is also in the past tense. Present tense is collect. So if you collect something, you gather something. For example, when we have lunchtime in school, you get those plastic coins, right, to buy your snacks. So we have to get those plastic coins, so you collect them from the office, and then they will give them to you. You can also collect something. For example, some people collect stamps or toy cars. So when you have many toy cars and you put them out and you really like them, you collect them. So the more you get, the more you collect. Okay? So the past tense is then collected. I collected toy cars. Good. One. Record, R-E-C-O-R-D. Number two, arrive, A-R-R-I-V-E-D. Number three, collected, C-O-L-L-E-C-T-E-D. Okay, let's look at three more. Okay, three more. Number four, P-R-E-P-A-R-E-D. Prepared, prepared. Sometimes we shorten this word for prep. So if you prepare something, it means you get ready for something. For example, when I'm making this video, I need to prepare. I prepare my record, I prepare my books, I prepare the whiteboard, I prepare my computer over there, I prepare the camera that you're seeing me through now. So I get everything ready, and then I am prepared to record the lesson. So if you prepare, you get ready for something. Number five, T-R-A-V-E-L. Travel. Travel. So do you remember last week or 2 weeks ago we had the word trip. Now what is the difference between a trip and a travel? A trip is a short distance usually. So if I go from Chonburi to Pattaya and then come back the next day, that is a trip. But if I go from Chonburi to Japan and come back the next week, that is a travel. So a longer distance for a bit longer time, you say you use travel. You can use travel for short trips as well. You can say, oh, I'm traveling to Pattaya. It means the same thing. But it's better to say I have a trip to Pattaya, right? So for example, we have a school trip. We don't say we have a school travel if we only go to the zoo and then come back. So that's the difference between trip and travel. And number 6, F-O-L-L-O-W-I-N-G. Following. Following. Well, following has many meanings. The meaning that we will discuss today is we will see later an activity record and it will say at the top, read the following information. That means read the information that comes after following. So when it says read the following, it means the things that come after following. Okay? But it has more meaning, but for us that's the meaning that we need to know today. So one more time. Prepared. Get ready. Travel. Travel to Japan. Following. Information that comes after the word following. Good? Underline. And let's have a look at our lesson for today. Okay. Your math books. This one. And then we go to page 131. And that is this page right here. Page 131. Now, are we ready? So on page 131, yeah, let's look at this together. So it says here at the top, reading and writing activity records with specified time. Now we see here in the first column on the time we see all different times, right? So let's read them. The first one says 6:45. The second one 7:15. The third one 7:45. 8:15. 9:15. 12. 13:30. 15:30. 17:15. 1800. 18:30 and 20:45. Okay, so this is an activity record of Ying. She wrote down everything she did that day, and that is a record. So this is her activity record. So what did she do? Let's read. At 6:45, what did she do? Right, wake up. So she woke up at 6:45. And then half an hour later at 7:15, what did she do? Just read. Have breakfast. So she had breakfast. Then 30 minutes after that, she arrived at school at 7:45. Then at 8:15, leave school for educational trip. See how they use the word trip and not travel, because it's only one day, maybe part of the day. So they left at 8:15 for an educational trip. Where did they go? At 9:15 they arrive at the zoo. Okay. Then at 12 o'clock have lunch. So they had lunch at 12 o'clock. At 13:30 arrive at Wat Pra Khao. I hope I pronounced it correct. Wat Pra Khao. Then at 15:30 they arrived at Phimanek Mansion in Dusit Palace, Phimanek Mansion. I've been there. Then at 5:15 they arrived back at school. At 6 o'clock they arrived home. At 6:30 she had dinner. And she went to bed at 20:45, so 8:45. So these are the times and these are the activities. So from the table we know, what do we know at the bottom? Let's read. From the table we know that the activity record was prepared by Ying, because it says here at the top Ying. We know the date of the activity record is 10th of March 2019, because it says here at the top. What do we also know? That Ying woke up at 6:45 hours that day, because we can see that from the records. We know she arrived at school at 7:45, and we know she arrived at Wat Prathom at 13:30, and we also know all the other things. So this is Ying's activity record. Good, now we go to page 132, so the next page, that is this one. And at the top it says Queenie's activity record. Okay, so page 132. Now, based on the activity record below, answer the following questions. So, let's have a look at those questions. Read question number 1. Question number 1 is, so at the bottom here, question number 1, whose activity record is this and what is its date? So whose activity record is this and what is its date? Now let's look. We know it is Queenie's activity record and it's dated Saturday 12th of January 2019. So whose activity record is it? We can write, that's number 1, Queenie. Queenie's activity record. And it's dated 12th of January 2019. Okay, so if you don't have enough space, you can just try to write a bit smaller and write it behind each other. Because I don't have that much space here, so I write it here. Okay, so that is number 1. You can stop the video and copy the answer first and then play the video for number 2. Okay? Okay, number 2. Let's read question number 2. That's that one. Where did Queenie go on the 12th of January 2019? Now let's have a look. Where did she go? Time, she woke up at 7:35, breakfast. She, at 9 o'clock, she went to, you can see here, she went to travel to grandparents' house. So, the answer is, where did Queenie go on the 12th of January in 2019? She went to her grandparents' house. She went to her grandparents. She went to her grandparents. Full stop. Okay. So, whose activity record is it? Queenie's activity record, and the date 12th of January 2019. Number 2, where did Queenie go on the 12th of January 2019? She went to her grandparents. Okay, Good, let's have a look at number 3 and number 4. Okay, we're still on page 132, and now we will do number 3 and number 4. Can you see? Number 3 and number 4. Okay, so let's read number 3. What did Queenie do at 1500 hours that day? What did Queenie do at 1500 hours that day? So we look for 1500 hours, and 1500 hours is right there. What does it say? Go fishing with grandfather. So what did Queenie do at 3 o'clock or 1500 hours that day? She went fishing. She went fishing with whom? With grandfather. Okay. She went fishing with grandfather at 3 o'clock that day. So we know that because we can read it from the record. Good. Copy the answer. You can stop the video, copy the answer, and then play again, because we will do number 4. Okay, the last one. At what time, so the last one, at what time did Queenie collect fruit at her grandparents' farm? So at what time did she collect fruit at her grandparents' farm? So let's look. Where is it? Collect fruits at grandparents' farm. So we know what time. What is the time? Can you see? Right, 10:50. So how can we answer? At what time did Queenie collect fruits at the grandparents' farm? Let's answer like this. She collected fruit at 10:50. She collected fruit at 10:50. Good. Now we answered them. Let's review them. Number 1, whose activity record is this and what is its date? It's Queenie's activity record, and it's dated the 12th of January 2019. Number 2, where did Queenie go on the 12th of January 2019? Queenie went to her grandparents. Number 3, what did Queenie do at 1500 hours or 3 o'clock that day? She went fishing with grandfather. And number 4, at what time did Queenie collect fruits at her grandparents' farm? She collected fruit at 10:50. Let me rephrase that. I can say fruits at 10:50. Okay, so you can pause the video again and copy the right answer. If you finished, play. So, okay, that's how activity records work. Now, what we can do as some sort of an activity, for one day, make an activity record. So you look at an example in your book. Yeah, so you look at an example of this one, for example, or this one. Then you just make an activity record. What time did you wake up? What time did you have breakfast? What time did you arrive at school? Well, you're not going to school, but you can do something else. You can say, oh, at 7:45 I went to my study room. Okay, so make one of those activity records. So just write down what did you do the whole day between waking up and going to bed. Okay, no rush, just do that in your own time. Good, I will see you again tomorrow morning for part 2 of our reading comprehension about Anna and her basketball adventure. So I'm looking forward to that. See you tomorrow.